This video is for every single person out there who is seeking the truth. For every person out there that sees the lies and the deception. For everyone who is awake and has their eyes wide open. I feel so inspired today to share with you what I believe is a really important message, and I hope that you stay watching till the end because this message is going to be so inspiring. There are so many people out there that are trying to spread the truth, and this is amazing. But for some people, this information can be so overwhelming that we lose sight of the light at the end of the tunnel. And in this video, I'm going to show you that light. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yolanda Melody. Throughout my life, I have been aware that the entire system that we live in is completely corrupt. And before 2020, I felt like something was stopping me from spreading the truth and the things that I know. But when everything really started to turn upside down 3 years ago, I felt this fire within me to start speaking up, and so did so many other people. And throughout my journey of building a community of like-minded people and souls who see the truth, I have witnessed so much pessimism within the community and a sense of loss of hope. And this isn't a criticism, those feelings are completely valid, but what I want to do in this video is to turn that around. And I want to take you on a visual journey to try and help everyone see our true power. No matter what preconceptions you may have about religion and spirituality, it has become so obvious that we are experiencing a spiritual war, and this isn't just hypothesis, this isn't just a feeling. The things that I have witnessed and many others have witnessed has proven that it is undeniable that it is a spiritual war. And I'm not going to try and convince anyone in this video because I have plenty of other videos on this subject, but the key word here is war. Think about what that word means. Forget about the spiritual part for now, we're just focusing on the word war. What does that look like? I suppose you'd envisage two very large groups of people who are in opposition to each other. There will be leaders on each side, mentoring and guiding their people as to what the enemy's next attack is going to be. Now, war in of itself isn't butterflies and roses. It's not easy for either party. There are casualties that happen, but in the end, someone has to win. And the reason why I give this analogy right now is because that actually is what we are experiencing right now, but it doesn't physically look like anything we've seen before. We're not in the trenches, we're not wearing a soldier uniform, we're not in a physical battlefield, but we are in a spiritual battlefield. And in my opinion, this should be the easiest war to win. Because our physical bodies aren't being threatened like the traditional war, all of us people who are awake are scattered around everywhere. And the numbers just keep increasing. This is what's different. We all know that once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. It doesn't happen. I have never ever witnessed that happen because once you see something, you can't unsee it. Now, what that would look like in a traditional war is people from the opposition suddenly putting their weapons down and walking to the other side. Have you ever known that to happen in history? Where a mass of people suddenly abandon ship and join the opposition? Well, that's what's happening right now. And I think it can be so easy to take this for granted because we're not seeing it in the physical. This is a war on information, and a lot of it is happening through the media and the internet. We're not actually witnessing the full effects in our day-to-day life. And while we're on this analogy, or this metaphor, I want to point out a few other things. So say for example you're on the battlefield and we've heard that the opposition has got some kind of secret weapon that they're going to unleash on us and it sounds really scary. We wouldn't just kick our feet up and say, oh well, we're doomed. There's no point. The people on the other side don't even realise that what they're doing is wrong and there's no convincing them. There's no hope really. We should just give up. In no battlefield would that happen. What you'd do is you'd pull all of your people together and say, we're going to fight this, we're going to win. You have to have that winning attitude because that's what's going to fire you up. And when you have it in your heart that you are going to win, your chances of winning become 100 times bigger. because now you have the will of God inside of you. And believe me, that is so powerful. Now, I do also want to point out that it's incredibly important when you're at war to know what your enemy is doing and what they're up to. If you can figure out their next move, then you're always staying one step ahead and you can prepare for their next attack. So yes, it is incredibly important that people continue to spread the word to as many people as they physically can. Even if those people aren't listening, if they see it enough times, if you flood the zone, you know, like they flooded the zone, that's what's going to cause people to look. Don't wait for a saviour to come along. You are the saviour. Every single one of us has a voice, and we all have skills, gifts, things that were given to us by God for us to use. For me, I choose to spread the message on this platform. I always had these dreams of being in the entertainment industry and being in Hollywood, and I always felt like that was my purpose. And then I started doing YouTube. And for me it works perfect because unlike the people who are controlled by the media, I actually have full control, or a lot more control than if I were to be in the entertainment industry in Hollywood terms. Anyway, I see so many good comments that are left on my channel. It's absolutely astounding to see a community of like-minded people watch my videos and listen to what I have to say. But to every single one of you watching, you can do the same in your own way. Some of you might hate the idea of starting up a YouTube channel. It's not the only option. You might work in a profession where the information that you have could actually be valuable to these people. Say for example, even if you work in a supermarket, there are things that you could do in your day-to-day to spread the word, even in subtle ways. You could be at the checkout and you could hear someone talk about the corruption that's going on, or how they're only using cash at the moment, or they could just be dropping little truth bombs. And if you are an employee and you see that what they're saying is the truth, you could simply just give them a nod and a smile, just to let them know that, yeah, you understand. Because what that does is it builds a momentum. You know, I remember when everyone had to wear a muzzle or was told to wear a muzzle. And I tell you now, I made it my mission that every single shop I went into, I'd hold my head up high. I never wore a muzzle. And sometimes I'd look around and it felt like The Walking Dead. I was like, this is the apocalypse. Like, literally everyone is wearing a muzzle. Like, is there anybody there? Can anybody see me? Is there anyone alive out there? And on the rare occasion I would see the odd person that wasn't wearing one, and I would deliberately try to make eye contact with them, and we didn't need to say anything to each other. It was like a very subtle nod to each other and a look just to say, yeah, I know what's going on. The world's gone mad. You know, sometimes I would go up to people and I would just make a little comment. 9 times out of 10, if they weren't wearing a muzzle, they were completely on the same page. My dad's had situations where he's gone to the supermarket and he's sparked up a conversation with another person who is a truther, and they've just had a loud conversation, and everyone's walking by thinking, what are they talking about? I'll tell you a story, just a quick one, right? This is really, really amazing, right? My dad went to the supermarket one day and there was this guy with a few people standing outside of the shop, and the guy came straight up to him and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, I see that you're not wearing a mask." And instantly my dad kind of got on the offence and he was like, "Yes." Like thinking that this guy was gonna have a go at him or something. And then the guy quickly turns around and he goes, no, it's a good thing. It's good. Like, can you tell me why? And anyway, they got talking, and this guy was handing out leaflets to everyone, trying to wake everyone up as they're going into the supermarket. And there was quite a few people there, and I kind of wish that I'd have been there because it would have been just so amazing to see. But anyway, as 10 minutes went by, 2 policemen came over. And they were so nice and so humble to this guy. By the way, the main guy that my dad spoke to, his name was Lucan, I believe. So the policeman comes up to Lucan and said, "Listen guys, I've been told by the shop that you can't do this outside of here. We've had a few complaints. And Lucan turns around to them and said, you know it's all bullshit, don't you? And the policeman literally turned around and said, I know what you're saying is true. He tried to hand them a leaflet and they were like, we already know it. We see what's going on. It's twisted. The world's gone mad. And they said that, you know, they have to wear these muzzles because they're told to, but if it was up to them, they wouldn't. And that is a policeman. Well, two policemen actually. And they were both in agreement. You see how one tiny little action can open up so many doors. Think about how many people witnessed that conversation and then spoke to their friends and then spoke to their friends. And so the message spreads further. So I say get creative. Everyone has their own way of doing things. You could be a very outspoken person who wants to shout from the rooftops. I mean, I feel like that most of the time. I try and hold myself back though because I don't want to come across too heavy. But even if your way of doing things is to be more subtle and calm, even that is enough to make someone question their reality. When it comes to social media, there's a lot of people that don't want to show their face for fear of ridicule. Most of us have friends and family that completely bum off the narrative, so that can kind of put you off from spreading the truth if you are using your own personal social media. But if you do feel so inclined, you can always start up an anonymous account and start spreading posts, things that you've seen. And just a quick side note, if you do decide to do it on Instagram, feel free to drop me a message and just say that you've come from this video, and if you're posting loads of stuff trying to spread the word, I'll most likely check out your page, and I tend to do a lot of reposts on my story. But yeah, speak up. Don't hold back for fear of judgment, because trust me, when you speak from the heart and you're true to yourself, it is the most amazing feeling. Lead by example, and you'd be surprised how many people then will feel brave enough to follow. And don't be afraid to pray. I've started praying every single night before I go to bed, and the way that I do it is I just talk to God like he's my best friend. I don't do vain repetitions. Because personally, if I was God, I'd kind of get a bit sick of hearing it. Just speak how you normally would speak. You can do it in your head or you can speak it out loud. More and more people around me are telling me about how their prayers are being answered, and it's absolutely astounding to see. And yeah, I don't want this video to be too long, but just a quick thing. I just want to say thank you to all of the people that comment, all of the people that are subscribed, that share these videos, that even just drop a like on the videos. All of these things really do actually help. It helps to push my videos out to more people, so more people will wake up. I love reading your comments. There are so many people that have pointed things out to me, and I've done further research and I've been like, wow, thank you. It really does inspire me to keep making this content and to try and make it better each time I upload. And yeah, on that note, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to drop it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Love you, bye.